Oh, what's happening, people? And welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast. We want to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way. City versus Arsenal this weekend, Sunday. Huge fixture. Biggest game of the season. Probably for both clubs. International break, international fixtures are over. Some injuries here from Man City, maybe.
Yeah.
Could be Pep's mind games.
Yeah.
Some injuries for Arsenal. Could be Arteta's mind games.
Yeah.
But I mean, the first question I have here is just how you feeling?
I just told you, like, who did we play last? It wasn't Brentford. When Porto.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now when Porto happened, when Brentford and Porto happened on this buzz, like, oh man, this is a huge game. Like just constantly thinking about Manchester City. Even to be honest, when we beat Brentford, it was like damn near the first thing on my mind is like, fuck, all right, we've got Man City next in the league. Yeah. Whilst the full-time whistle went at Porto, I actually thought Porto was going to be an easy game than it was. But when the full-time whistle went, I was like, all right, again, good news. All down to the City game. And then we've had this 2-week break with international break, and like, I just haven't seen Arsenal for a while. I'm kind of like, removed from the situation, watching a lot more basketball. But coming back into it, now I'm seeing Arsenal start to tweet things again, players signing contracts, all of this kind of stuff.
Kai Havertz scoring over.
Kai Havertz, exactly. My nerves, they start to build, but I don't think anything, I as I stand right now as we're recording, the pressure isn't there that much. But I know Saturday, 12:30 kickoff, as soon as the ball is played and somebody scores a goal and somebody moves up or down a place in the table, you start to look and think, yo, we could really...
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
Liverpool play before us on Sunday.
Yeah, Brighton's going to be a tough game. 2-week break.
I mean,
keep Dunk out that team sheep.
We saw what Brighton did when he came to the Emirates last year.
Yeah, but my thoughts on the game, man, I'm quietly optimistic. But I've been quietly optimistic going to the Etihad for the last at least 2 years.
Yeah, so I was gonna, in comparison to last year, because I know last year again, you were quite.
I was quietly optimistic.
Do you feel? Is it the same way you felt last year?
No, last year I actually thought we had a better chance.
Is it?
Last year I was more optimistic that we were going to do something versus.
I wasn't.
Yeah, you weren't.
I'm usually not.
Yeah. I was quietly optimistic that we was going to do something versus them, and then conceding in the first 4 minutes and having.
Not just conceding.
Yeah, not just conceding.
The goal.
Look, it was. As you say, the goal we conceded in the first 4 minutes let me know we were
no matter how optimistic either of us are,
we were nowhere near it. Yeah,
that exact same thing could happen after 4 minutes,
and that's the scary thing about Manchester City. And they're going to turn up for it, and Pep's going to give them the big speech and everything like that. But the only things that make me quietly optimistic is one, pure delusion.
Yeah,
it's nothing statistical or like I can back this in like years and years of going to the Etihad and just winning and that gut feeling. No, It's just I'm somewhat delusional that we are a better team than we were this time last year. That we're a better team than we were at the beginning of the season when we beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that we have a big game record, and I don't think we're going to go there and get pumped. And that's how I feel. I feel like we could sneak a 1-1. I feel like we could sneak a 2-1.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going to run away with it.
I agree with you. The only reason I'm smiling is because due to this podcast, that's out there now.
Yeah, I know. I look, and these are the big risks.
Yeah.
These are the big risks that podcasters have to take. Look, we could be 3-0 down at halftime.
Yeah.
And I could be like, yo, what was I even... Of course we're going to be 3-0 down.
And you're going to have to come and answer for your crimes on Monday.
Where I stand right now, having not watched Arsenal for 2 weeks and purely in a delusional state, I think it's going to be a real battle. And I just don't think, for the first time in a long time, apart from last year, I just don't think we're going to go there and get pumped. Like, get pumped. Those years when, like, we're going there and holding, we're starting, Mustafi, like, I just, it pumped central. Sterling was coming. All those guys, like, I don't think it's that team anymore. And Arteta's obviously going to be up for it. But the one thing that does scare me, and this is football and this is sports, is there are these massive unknowns. Like a ref giving a soft penalty.
Yeah.
A ref giving a harsh red card. like those unknowns of what the referees or whatever can come into the game. Like I was even watching back the highlights of the first game. I don't know how Kovacic stayed on that pitch.
Yeah.
You know, and like the ref letting those sort of things go, and those working against us. That's where I really feel like that's how I feel, as if we were gonna lose, it's gonna lean more towards that kind of stuff of like a clear handball not given, or we get one of those very weird handballs that is like only handball by technicality. And not by actual.
So you think on merit we're gonna match them?
Especially if the injuries are the injuries, especially if John Stones is out, especially if Carl Walker's out.
Do you think they're out?
I think Stones might legitimately be out.
But you think
Walker could be? I think it's more 60-40 that he plays. Yeah. I think it's more 60-40 that Walker plays. But John Stones, I think legitimately could be out. And I think if Ake, Akanji, it would be Diaz. Especially if Walker doesn't play, especially if Stones doesn't play, but more so Stones, I feel like, we might be able to get at someone.
Yeah.
I also saw that, I sent you that tweet about some guy was like, I just saw the script for the Man City.
Jesus on Easter Sunday.
I don't know, but I feel like I always go into these games with a little bit of like delusional confidence. How you feeling?
Well, look, I said, I'm usually the pessimistic one, but I mean, history and the results would dictate that my pessimism is realism.
Yeah. So that's steeped in facts.
But you know what? Like for this game, this season, I'm and I wouldn't say I'm confident, right? Because that implies that I think Arsenal will go there and they will win or something or whatever. But last year I was very scared about this game.
Yeah.
Even before we dropped points at West Ham and Southampton and whatever, I was just like, that fixture at the Etihad is just going to be a bit long. And I remember telling you that. But this year, I don't feel like that. This year, I feel like, and you alluded to this, we can go there and we can fully compete.
Yeah, we should.
Last year in that game, in my opinion, it was men against boys, really. Like, they kind of... Do you remember? I mean, it was for what was built up to be title decider, first versus second.
Summit meeting, they were saying.
Yeah, we kind of just got turned over.
Yeah.
I don't think, like I said, De Bruyne could do the same thing in 4 minutes, hit one off the crossbar, post and in or whatever, do something outrageous. They have that quality. But I think we are definitely more equipped to compete. And I think I will say this, I don't think Arsenal are going to get beat.
Yeah.
And that's big for me to say.
That is for
that's big for me to say.
The pessimist inside you, I know,
but
wants to recant that statement.
Yeah, but I don't think, especially if they have those injuries, if Walker and Stones are injured, and praying Martinelli's fully fit, and Akanji's still carrying a bit of a niggle, then I know Gvardiol's going to play left back, and it won't be Ake. So Saka.
Is that what you think?
Yeah. Because Gvardiol hasn't played centre back all season. So I'd be very surprised if Pep puts him there for this game.
Diaz,
I mean, that's what he did. That's the same back
he played.
Yeah. Obviously in there.
Gvardiol and Saka.
But the biggest. Well, let me caveat that. Yeah, I don't think Arsenal will lose if Kai Havertz drops an 8 out of 10. If Kai Havertz drops an 8 out of 10,
he's in form.
I think Arsenal get a point or 3.
You know, it's
because the other thing, they scored 4 goals. It's painful.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have that collapse though.
We went there last year. Our defense this year,
but at the end, it got a bit like a joke. It was a joke thing at the end.
Yeah. Haaland picked up his scrap and whatever. And mistakes and that. But and this kind of leads me on to my next question about who you would start. But for me, obviously, I mentioned Jakub Kiwior jokingly earlier, but he played 120 minutes on Tuesday, right? Yeah. For me, it'd be obviously Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu.
You're throwing Tomiyasu right back in there?
Tomiyasu comes in straight away.
That's a bold call. I don't know what Tomiyasu is saying. I haven't seen him
And then Jorginho, Rice, depending on what Partey's like. If Mikel thinks Partey can hack it, but Partey and Tomiyasu might be a bit too much.
Yeah.
Jorginho, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Havertz, Martinelli, if he's fit. Otherwise, Trossard or Jesus, I don't mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that back four isn't going to collapse the way last year's back four did. And I think Man City, if they take their chances and they maybe score a banger or something, they might score 2 or 3 goals, right? But I also don't think Man City will be as good defensively. I think we're better. I think this is the thing, man. I think Kai Havertz can cause. I've been seeing clips of the Champions League final, right, on my Twitter going around when Chelsea played Man City, and we know the Kai Havertz. I've said on this podcast, there's few things I love more than a Kai Havertz false 9 shift. Yeah, when he put that false 9 shift in that final, Diaz, whoever it was, they were Laporte, they were lost.
Yeah,
right. If Kai Havertz drops an 8 out of 10, I think we get something.
So, I agree with you in many respects, but what I will say is the only person I can actually bank on being a actual, I don't know, difference maker is Martinelli, and I don't think he's fully fit. Like normally, if this is Aston Villa, if this is Brentford, if this is West Ham, I'm telling you, yeah, Havertz, Saka, Odegaard, I think they're going to do the business. I think they're going to be the ones. But because it's Manchester City and because the games are so tight and because Pep has a game plan for Saka, because Pep has a game plan for Odegaard, because Pep will have a game plan for Kai Havertz, yeah, they often don't end. They might have good performances, but they don't end up being the heroes. Yeah, it's like it came with Ake's face last time. You know,
Pep's had game plans for Kai Havertz before, though.
No.
And it cost him a Champions League.
I'm saying this to say that I don't disagree that if Havertz has an 8 out of 10 that we win, but I just always feel like in these games,
lose. I said we won't.
Okay,
lose.
we won't lose.
Yeah,
sorry, I just feel like in these games, who we expect to be the hero is often never the hero. Like unless it's Martinelli, who somehow he's there for the big games, he gets the ball over the line. It could be, a Kivio header from a corner. It could be Tomiyasu. It could be like a Saliba double ricochet thing. Sure. Jesus off the bench, Trossard.
But I don't know if I quite agree with Martinelli is the one that you look at in a big game.
Yeah,
but I mean that front three, Martinelli, Havertz, and Saka, I'm fairly confident that they will all turn up to some level.
Exactly. Like I think they'll all have good games. But I'm literally talking about
Odegaard's the one I'm looking at.
I'm talking about, I don't think Saka will score an open play. I don't think Odegaard will score an open play. I I think Havertz.
That's Havertz and Martinelli.
I think Havertz and Martinelli have the biggest. And Havertz, to be fair,
I don't know, man. Saka could. Saka rips Gvardiol once.
I don't think Saka, and I'm saying this not because I don't think Saka can. I'm just saying this because it never pans out this way. Yeah. Like, especially versus Manchester City.
He's going to get double teamed every time.
It just never pans out that Saka, and to be fair,
he didn't even play the last time.
He didn't even play the last time. It just never pans out that Saka, it's like, Ortega ends up making a great save. It's always Stones or Diaz. Just Ake gets a foot there. Like he's beating the keeper, but Ake's got back to get a foot in. That's how it always ends up.
Diaz's leg and over the bar.
Yeah. Like it always ends up being that we need Havertz to sort of slip through 2 challenges. Get a double hit off the keeper, it come back off the post, and he's still there to put it in the back of the net type of thing. Like that's the kind of luck that I'm expecting. And I know I said I'm coming into this game slightly confident, but I'm confident that I'm mainly where my superstition comes in from. I just overall think that, and I still think Manchester City are going to be champions. And I'm about to contradict myself, but I feel like there could be a changing of the guard this season. And that's more so where everything is coming in from. Like, as you said, Pep and Man City could win every game from now to the end of the season. Or this could be the season where it's like, there's other teams. There's 2 other teams now. For the very first time, there's 2 other teams now. So it's, percentage-wise, there is actually a chance that there's going to be a changing of the guard. And that's just kind of where my head is at. Is that like, they might not have enough. And this doesn't mean that they could beat us and still not have enough. I just think that this season there could potentially be a changing of the guard, and obviously this game would come into it big time. But if you ask me for my starting lineup, I'm starting Kiwior. I agree with your starting lineup, and I agree that as long Kiwior played 120 minutes, but it's not like Kiwior has played 90 for 38 matches, 30 matches so far or whatever. Kiwior's he's played the last 6 weeks or 5 weeks of football, and he also won the game. So he must be on a big buzz. They're going to the Euros. Yeah. So he should be coming in thinking this is the biggest game of the season. I've just won my biggest game for my international country for a minute. Like, it problems with... and he's not going to do 90, I don't think, anyway. Depending on the score. Like, I doubt we're going to be up 2-0 and we need to take, Kiwior. Like, we need to... it's going to be one of those ones where it's like Zinchenko's going to need to come on for a 15-minute stint.
Well, actually, no, I don't know about...
I think whatever the scoreline, who asked Zinchenko...
No. If we're winning or drawing that game,
by a goal,
Zinchenko does not touch grass.
But who? I don't know about that. He's gonna ask Zinchenko to come on and be a senior pro. Do the Jorginho, get on the ball, because Jorginho doesn't have 90 in him. Get on the ball.
No, I can't see it, man.
And keep possession.
And you gotta think, right? Like, let's say the score is 1-1, 70 minutes.
Yeah.
The Etihad. The atmosphere, the intensity, the pressure. Is Mikel really going to look at Zinchenko?
I think Mikel would look at Zinchenko and put him on there, and live and die with that. You could make it 2-1. You could lose.
Mistakes, Zinchenko, and I'm a big Zinchenko fan.
That's what I'm saying. But I think Mikel
mistakes he's made. If Mikel makes that change and Zinchenko makes a mistake,
yes, it's crucifixion. But if Mikel makes that change, and Zinchenko plays that third through ball,
but how likely? Which one's more likely?
I think there's 50-50. That's Zinchenko. I think it is literally 50-50.
At the Etihad, because at no point in that game are Arsenal going to be, in my opinion, clearly dominating the ball.
No, I think they'll be... No, okay, yeah, you're right.
You got to think about do you remember how Man City came and pressed us last
year? Yeah, they're top. Look,
it was nuts.
They're going to have them drilled. But the reason I say this is I actually don't think too many... The only issue I have with Zinchenko in the Man City fixture is if Haaland starts seeing, Zinchenko's at the back post, let me draw onto Zinchenko. Yeah. But I actually don't think that if Zinchenko comes on after 75 minutes, that Doku or Grealish is going to get the better of him. Like, I don't think that the wingers...
And you know what? To be, maybe I'm being a bit harsh because he did start the game at the Emirates.
Yeah, I don't think their wingers are actually...
But I don't want to see that.
It's a risk.
Whether he can
it's a
deal
risk.
with it or not, I don't want to see it. It's a risk.
I would start Kiwior nonetheless, but I don't think there is a way...
Even if Tomiyasu's fully fit. Because I think that's the conversation.
I love Tomiyasu. I love Tomiyasu. But last season, we threw Tomiyasu in there when he hadn't played games for a minute, and he made that mistake. Yeah. And I don't. The reason I'm saying no to Tomiyasu is just because he's so cold, and we're asking him to play the biggest game in our season. Like, that's my only thing. Like, if Tomiyasu had played 10 minutes in the last match, get him in there. He must be ready. But we haven't seen Tomiyasu literally since Jan.
I hear it.
That's his last time he played football, and now he's got to come in and defend the best and make no mistakes and be in line with everybody. It is him. But I just think that
Kiwior's got the momentum.
Tomiyasu is a Bayern Munich. Lock that in.
Yeah.
Lock that in. Tomiyasu to start both legs. Yeah, home and away versus Bayern Munich.
I just look, JK penitentiary, all of that, yeah. But I do. Kiwior could get skinned. He could.
Zinchenko could get skinned. I agree.
Yeah, but you know who can't get skinned? If he's fully fit.
That's the thing. So Tomiyasu, I don't even think that Tomiyasu would get skinned. I think that when it comes to now the pressing thing or the passing, David Raya's giving him balls under pressure, and he's got world class press on him, and he's not played elite football for a couple of months. And now we're asking him to be a number 10 at left back, turning. Take it on the half turn in a tight space with two guys on you. Don't lose it here. If you lose it here, we're dead. Type of thing. Yeah. Like, at least.
Do you really want Kiwior doing that?
But see, now with Kiwior, we know the system. Yo, don't even just get down the pitch.
Yeah.
Give it to Ben White.
And look, man, I haven't made this JK penitentiary thing up for no reason. He's been locking up guys.
play him because the momentum is there, and I think that it gives you the opportunity to take him off and be more offensive. That's why I would go with Kivior.
Or to give Tomiyasu
or
20 minutes.
If it's 1-1, to be fair, you're right. I think I would bring Tomiyasu on, but I don't think Arteta will play this game and not bring Zinchenko on. That's just how I don't think he will. And I also don't think Martinelli's fit enough, and I think Trossard will start.
I think Martinelli's going to start.
I don't know. Has he been seen in training? I haven't seen
whether he has
or
hasn't.
He hasn't. He's going to start.
Mikel's not going to tell us.
That's true.
Mikel's going to instruct the cameraman to take pictures of everyone. Do not get Martinelli in any shot if he is out on the grass.
Yeah, but I agree with everything else that you said in terms of the midfield. I think Jorginho's got to get in there. Obviously, Odegaard,
right.
Kai, yeah, like Saka, of course.
That's when you compare our team going there this year to our team that went there last year.
It's a better team.
You're Raya instead of Ramsdale.
Yeah. You
got Saliba, which you would say is an
10x,
upgrade.
10x upgrade.
Saliba over Holding, which you would say is an upgrade. Kiwi or Tomiyasu over Zinchenko, which at this point this season,
50-50.
Then you got Jorginho over Partey. Obviously, Partey hasn't played that much football, so you would take Jorginho. Declan Rice over Granit Xhaka, which is an upgrade.
Yeah.
Kai Havertz over Gabriel Jesus, which I think in this game as a striker, an upgrade. I think we're going there with a better team.
And also, last thing to say is that we lost last year in a pretty embarrassing way, and the team has to have learned from that. Like that at the end when I said it got like a joke. Man City could score first in this game, but I don't think we should capitulate and in 15 minutes be conceding 3 goals. Like that,
there definitely needs to be visible improvement.
That needs to stop. Yeah. That in big games of like, all right, we gave it a good go for about 50 minutes, and then they got another one, and now we should let 4 or 5 in because that has to stop. You know, and I think, and I would like to think that it has, or I'd like to. I don't
think that our defense
is gonna, especially with Saliba and Gabriel.
Last word.
Yeah.
But I don't think our defense is gonna allow that to happen.
But to be fair, speaking about this in the last 10 minutes or so is up my levels of anxiety from the game. Yeah. I'm no longer calm. It's going to be really
I'm not
intriguing.
Like I said last year, I was worried. I was nervous. This year, I'm not really. Well, at this point, like you said, maybe come
12:30.
Saturday 12:30 or whatever, I might get more. But at this point, I'm just looking forward to it. I genuinely just want to see how far this Arsenal team has come.
It's a real test.
Like these are the moments that, as a fan, you want to be a part of.
No, 100%.
Like if we go and win at Man City, that will be unbelievable.
Delusion.
Yeah, crazy. But I'm excited, man. I want to see this Arsenal team up against the best. I think it'd be a good test before Bayern Munich as well. Like let's see where we're at with, in my opinion, the best team in Europe.
Yeah.
Going to their stadium in a title run in. Like let's see.
I completely look. We're top of the table right now, and we should move like it.
Yeah,
man. We should
exactly.
We should. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But as I said, I am very excited, and I do still carry hope and a slight delusion that I think this could be the year. I always come into that.
We've got the facilities to hurt them more than we did last year.
Yeah, 100%.
At both ends of the pitch.
And look, again, I think the game will be won with the 20-minute Cabio sub appearances that both teams make.
Reece Nelson.
Jesus. Yeah. If you come on and you electrify that pitch for 15, 20 minutes, and you stick it on Guardiola, you stick it on a Kanji with a niggle, or you stick it on Walker, or whatever it's going to look like, you have a chance. You might only score 4 or 5 league goals all season. But if one of them is at the Etihad,
you might score the biggest.
You might as well have scored 10.
Yeah,
in my book. So these kind of, even Partey, I'm not gonna lie, it might get choppy in there. Jorginho might be looking tired. We're gonna need to bring on some legs. If you can 15 minutes, lock it down.
Fizz through the
line. Yeah. Make the cover, make the tackle, win the header in the box, get the ball up the pitch, do the ping. That will win us the game, whatever the scoreline is. So I think the onus is on the substitute players who are going to be making cameos, because I think the actual game, the 11 men, the 75 minutes, is going to be so tight. Like the game earlier this season, there might be nothing in it.
Exactly. I was just about to say, I think if Arsenal are going to score, they're going to need to score the perfect goal.
Yeah.
It's going to need to be a goal that every pass is crisp, powerful, pinpoint. There was no point at which a Man City player made a mistake. That goal was just unstoppable.
And things are getting scary, man. I saw Rodri score 2 penalties versus Brazil. You know?
Yeah, I've stayed away from Rodri in this preview because that will get me nervous and that will get me anxious. And I fucking hate Rodri.
And you know he's got something.
So
he's got something. And it won't even be a screamer with Rodri. It won't. It's going to be a back post.
I've seen him score a shitty goal.
Yeah. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be from, those deep free kicks.
I'd rather KDB score the same goal he scored last year.
Look, so it's from a deep free kick. KDB's on top of it. And it's one of those ones where Rodri's gone and you think, surely he's offside.
Yeah.
Surely.
Yeah. Right?
Like, he's at the penalty spot. There's nobody else around him. KDB's put pinpoint delivery. Rodri's got his head on it. Surely he's offside.
Playing
Yo, that's how it is. Yeah.
But look, let us know in the comments, Arsenal fans, non-Arsenal fans, you think me and Michael being too optimistic,
too pessimistic,
or too pessimistic? What do you lot think's going to happen? Who do you think's most likely to turn up? Would you start Tomiyasu? Would you start Kiwior? Let us know. But